This video is going to show you how to construct the perfect party. As you should know, a part E is worth 12 marks. In order to get the full 12 marks, you need to do the following things. When writing an introduction, remember, keep it short, define any key terms, and briefly outline what you're planning to say in the whole essay. For example, let's imagine that we're answering the question from the deity unit. It is not possible to know what God is like. It's of course worth 12 marks. You could do a typical boring introduction like the following. But that's not particularly good. Instead, try something closer to this. Now moving on to the main body of the argument. You need to write in a specific structure in order to get the full 12 marks and to show consistency and good flow throughout your essay. This is the Peel structure: point, evidence, analysis, and link back to the question. I've given you an example here of how you would construct a paragraph for the question, "It is not possible to know what God is like." Many Christians believe that God is immanent and acts within the world. For example, God intervenes in the world through miracles, such as when Jean-Pierre Belly was cured of MS at Lourdes. There's a little picture, Jean-Pierre Belly. This shows that God has a personal relationship with his creation and shows us his omnipotence as we know he loves us because he chooses to help us through difficult times. That should be omnibenevolence. For your link, as God chooses to act in the world through such miracles, it is clear to many that it is possible to know God personally. When writing your second paragraph, make sure that it is arguing for the opposite side of the argument. With part E's, they ask you to discuss, therefore it needs to be set up like a debate, for, against, for, against. When writing your second Peel paragraph, make sure that you use connectives, for example, on the other hand, however, in contrast, etc. Don't just give random arguments for and against. It's best to give direct counter-arguments. This is one that directly counters or refutes the previous paragraph. For example, you've just said that many see God as immanent, so now it would make sense to look at the alternative idea that God is in fact beyond the world, something we cannot comprehend because he is transcendent. You could use these Bible quotes. Now I want you to pause the video for 2 minutes. I'm going to ask you to have a go at writing this second paragraph. It should take you no more than 2 minutes because it is a mark a minute and you get 2 marks per paragraph. Now you're on to your conclusion. Remember, we've just given an example of 2 paragraphs. You will write 4 main paragraphs, 2 arguments for, 2 arguments against. So what you would need to do is write another argument for and another argument against. When you come onto your conclusion, make sure that you don't rush it. Leave yourself ample time to get it completed. I would say 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes is fine. If you've got longer, great. Too often, I see conclusions which are basic and aren't justified. It's also not good enough just to say that you believe something because you're a Christian, or you don't believe something because you're an atheist. I also see a lot of sitting on the fence responses. Pick a side, if possible, and justify it. This is an example of a particularly strong conclusion. Well done! You've made it through the whole video. Now go out and treat yourself. Do a couple of practice past paper questions.